What do you think my opponent went all in with? We're in late position. We got 9-10 of clubs. It gets to me. I raise it up to 13. The button calls. Another player calls. We're going to a flop 3 ways. The flop comes out ace-6-8 with 1 club. We flop a backdoor flush draw and a gut shot straight draw. First player checks. I decide to bet 20. They both call. The turn card comes, the 5 of clubs. We improve our hand. We have a flush draw now. We have a gut shot to make a high-end straight. It gets checked to me. Now I want to bet more, trying to get my opponents to fold because I don't have a made hand. I only have a draw. I bet 75 on the turn, and the player behind me thinks for a little bit and says, I'm all in. And he's got about 350 bucks. He has me covered. The other player folds, and now I'm in a tough spot. I don't know what to do here. I don't have a made hand, but I do have a monster draw. But with only 1 card to come, I decided to fold my cards. Do you think I should have folded? Or should I have made the call for all my chips? This was a tough hand to swallow. We got pocket jacks in late position. I make it 15 to go. It gets around and it gets 3-bet up to $60. I have about 250 to start the hand. I make the call, obviously, with pocket jacks pre-flop. We're headed to a flop heads up. The flop comes queen 6-4 with 2 clubs. Not a bad flop for me if my opponent doesn't have a queen, kings, or aces. He bets $100 on the flop, and now I'm in a tough position because I only have 190 remaining. Do I just call? Do I raise all in here, or do I fold? I could do any of the 3 options. I decided to make the call. We're headed to a turn. The turn comes the 8 of spades, doesn't change much, and my opponent just goes all in. At this point, I can't fold my cards. I probably should have folded on the flop if I didn't want to call on the turn. I make the call pretty quickly. The river comes the 9 of diamonds. My opponent flips over pocket aces, and we lose the hand. Aces to jacks. Absolutely brutal. We're in the button with pocket 6s. It gets around to me. I make it 15 to go. There's a few limpers in front of me. I get 2 callers after I bet 15. We're going to a flop 3 ways. The flop comes king 6 deuce rainbow. We flop middle set. The first player leads out for 25. The other player folds, and I just flat call here because we have position, and if he bet out on the flop, it's likely he's going to bet out again on the turn. The turn card comes the queen of hearts. That's a good card for me. It doesn't change much. He bets out for 45 now, and I think it's time to throw in a raise. It's just a matter of how much. I decided to make it a raise that I think he's going to call. I only made it 110 to go. If I made it 160, 170, he probably would have folded, but he comes along to the river after I raised to 110. The river card comes the 10 of clubs. I'm fine with that river. I still believe I have the best hand. My opponent now checks to me after I raised on the turn, and after thinking for a few seconds, it's a pretty easy decision. I say all in for 300. My opponent thinks for a little bit, but he makes the call, and he flips over king queen for top 2. I have middle set with 6s, and I take down a massive pot.